Sell, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
It's another Monday afternoon where we're talking football, but y'all, that's dwindling down. I don't know if you were paying attention yesterday, but the final two games in the NFL, and I know you're both paying attention, but yeah, lots of football to discuss today. But before we do that, shout out to the Dad Bods for rocking it Friday night.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, we had a great time at Colhane's Irish Pub and Restaurant, and I was just told our next gig is at the local in Ponte Vedra. I thought they were suspending music, but I guess we're going to be there on March the 7th. So that's
making exceptions for the Dad Bods.
I guess so.
That is a Saturday.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Hayes was there, Graham, and Brian, of course, and
Dylan Denmark.
And Dylan, of course. Yeah, they stayed. Him and Graham stayed for a while. That was fun. It was great to see you all, and a great time being up there and rocking out. My wife's like, I was going to kill you when you did that for knocking on heaven's door for your mother. I dedicated knocking on heaven's door to my mom, and but for the record, I'm not knocking on heaven's door. And she's like, I'm going to kill you. Like, I can't believe you did that. But anyway, it was a great time. Thanks for being there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do we know what time at the local on March
7th? No, and I'm not going to say it.
We won't announce that yet.
After dinner.
We'll play that by ear. All right, let's kick things off with that snow game, or at least it ended as a snow game in the blizzard that happened there. I do have a dumb question to ask. Since they knew what the forecast looked like, couldn't they have started the game a few hours earlier to get it in before the snow? And look, light snow, what we saw in New England the week before, you can play through that. The game yesterday, the second half, really, it was impossible for the refs to see anything. It was impossible for the players to do anything. Like, weather, I think, to a certain point is fine. But I do feel like had they started that game at noon Eastern, then we would have avoided those issues. And we could have had a serious injury in that weather, too.
Yeah. I don't know how that works with TV. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to reset everything. Right. But I would have scored more points in the first half.
I was about to say.
Or tried to.
Because
the players and refs also sucked in the first half. So the snow didn't affect it then.
Absolutely. But that was just a crazy game. I like the elements. I also I miss when the Super Bowl's in like Miami or San Diego, where it's hot and sunny, and you earn that, like you got to fight through this championship game and find a way to win. And what's my reward? Not only the Super Bowl, but I'm going to Miami to play in the Super Bowl. It's going to be warm. It may rain, but it's going to be warm. You know what I mean? So I don't want that to change, but it is hard in those conditions. But it just changes the game. You got to run the ball more. Yeah. You got to make your field goals. 1 out of 5. Granted, one was tipped. Out of for both sides,
Which they came out and said later that Jeremy Crawshaw, the former Gator, who's the punter, who was also the holder, that he put the ball on the wrong yard line.
Oh, jeez.
And that's what, because he couldn't see.
On the tip?
The one that was tipped.
The one that was tipped,
or the 7, and it was supposed to be 8 yards back or something like that. I saw it was like 1 yard difference, but that's why it ended up being a little lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams are teams that play in the snow, so I feel like it would probably seem like a bigger deal if it was like the Rams playing that in that snow. People would be like, oh my goodness, this is a team that plays in the dome and now they're having to play in the snow. Both of these teams practice in these elements and play in these elements, and so I do think it ended up kind of being that game where it's like you get the weather wasn't great in the Seattle Rams game, but it definitely wasn't like it was in the Patriots Broncos game. I like the elements. I think that it definitely affects things, but I think that does show coaching at times how when you need to run the ball more, or what your play call is once that snow started coming down and things like that. So I'm always very anti-domes everywhere. I don't want every stadium to be a dome.
Right.
But it was at points where and they kept calling it flurries, by the way, on the broadcast. I was like, these are more than flurries. This is a snowstorm, by the way.
Yeah. I felt bad for the fans. I mean, they knew what they were getting into for sure, but they're not able to run around and get warm at any point in time. But yeah, obviously the Patriots end up winning 10-7. I thought with the first couple drives, Jared Stidham is going to start on another team. If the Broncos win this game and win the Super Bowl, or at least if he plays well in the Super Bowl, Jarrett Stidham is going to go on and have this renaissance story and be a starting quarterback. And then the rest of the game happens.
It was like the 41-yard throw, and that's what you felt like kept everything alive. And Christian Gonzalez was beating himself up bad on that, and then just completely shut everything down after that. They couldn't get anything going. It does make you think how different it would have been with Bo Nix just because of what Bo Nix can do on the ground. And I think that alone would have made this a very different game. I think Denver wins if Bo Nix is playing just because of his legs.
I don't know for sure, but I do know what you mean about the mobility part of things. The reason I say I don't know for sure is I also feel like the Patriots, their game plan was also very vanilla because they knew that Jarrett Stidham wasn't going to beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Drake May, when he started running, that's when it started changing for the Pats. He's done that throughout the playoffs. You know, he hasn't had the best outings throwing the ball around, and when that breaks down, he takes off and runs. He runs so weird. You know, his upper body doesn't move, but his legs move, but he's fast enough to get out of trouble and beat guys, you know, for those first downs and those big plays and the touchdown even. I think Stidham did what he could do at his best. I never get like those first plays are scripted, so you can have success. The question is, do they work again later? You know what I mean? Like, because you're catching everybody off guard. You don't really know what to expect. You're trying to feel each other out, and then they have the couple drives and then the one drive and you're like, okay. And then we settle down, we figure them out. And then the elements came and it changed everything anyway. You know what I mean? And then I always wait till after halftime because adjustments are everything. You just never know who's going to make the right adjustments, who's going to adjust to those adjustments. But at the end of the day, I think, look, it's funny how both games, like yards per attempt for the New England Denver were in the fours. And then you go to the other game, they're like near 10. And you're like, what a difference. And you can just, the score's different, the plays are different. I thought one thing that's common, though, two coaching decisions. To go for it and not take the points. Now, that doesn't mean you would have won anyway. It doesn't mean none of that means anything because things change. But I do believe that, look, we saw it here when Buffalo, you didn't take the points. Now, granted, Buffalo went right down on that drive and scored. The Pats did not. I think they punted, but then they got the ball back in the fumble, and then they scored after that. But you would have had another 3. You lost by 3. I think that whole, I got to be aggressive the whole game. It's second quarter. It's a championship. They knew the storm was coming in. Don't you want the points?
Yeah. I think he regrets it.
Well, he does. You can tell. And I heard what Ryan Clark said on the TV. He's like, yeah, but if they get the 14, they're not coming back. I'm like, that's ifs. What do you mean if? There's no if. It didn't work. So anyway, and then in the game with Stafford, like, okay, you got 4.5 minutes or so to go. If you make the field goal, which is a chip shot, it's 31-30. The momentum's in your favor. It's not in their favor. They just stopped you, so they have the momentum. Now, granted, they forced them to punt, but they took a lot off the clock, and then they had no time left to go after that. But if it's 31-30, maybe you're a little bit different. Maybe your defense, by the way, did force them to punt the series before. Like, they wouldn't stop them all game. Read the room kind of thing. Like, man, get the points. You still got 4.5 to go. Anything can happen.
Yeah, we need someone to be like the analytics overrider, right? Like, yes, we know what the analytics say, and we're going to evaluate that in our decision making. Yeah. But then there has to be someone that's wise and has watched a lot of football that comes in and says, no, kick the field goal. There is a blizzard on the way.
And then here's another. So, okay, say the analytics say go for it. Wouldn't the analytics also say, well, shouldn't you target like Devontae Adams or Puka Nacua? You know what I mean? Or your tight end, number 84, instead of going with some guy that he never really, you know what I mean? Like that analytic part doesn't add up for me.
In the AFC Championship game, so Peyton obviously decides to go for it, right? It's in the second quarter, like you said. You have Jarrett Stidham, who hadn't thrown a pass in a regular season game since 2023.
Yeah.
Your analytics are telling you to go for it and have him throw a pass.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was even crazier. Like, your play call in that situation also isn't good because you're putting putting too much on Jarrett Stidham.
I was and Seattle ended up winning, so it didn't matter. But I was surprised that they were throwing the ball the way they were with the 3.5 minutes left because I was like, oh, I don't know if I would totally do that. You want to run the ball, keep the clock moving. The Rams had no timeout, so you're like, you wanted to take as much time as you can off the clock, and then they threw the one to the Jackson Smith and Jigba, and it kind of bounces off his hands. One wrong bounce, and that's a pick, and then this game game flip. So I was surprised they were throwing in that moment. And again, they ended up winning, so that's not the conversation. But if they lost that game, that would have been a big conversational point at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the two quarterbacks in that game. I mean, Darnold was great. I mean, Stafford was great. After halftime, Stafford was unbelievable.
You couldn't have watched more different quarterback play between the AFC and NFC championship.
I know.
86 yards won a game for one quarterback.
Yeah.
And 350 something one the other.
Yeah, but no, you're right. So then again, it's the analytics to go for it, but then the play call, you're like, well, why would you roll them out and run past? Wouldn't you maybe fake it? Like if you're gonna make him put it in Stidham's hands, like let him run for it. You know, give him an RPO or something. Give him something that they're not expecting. So, you know, I think it's easy to, and I don't mean hide, I don't mean negative, I don't mean it like that, but I think it's easy to sit there like, analytics say go. Well, okay, it didn't work, so maybe the analytics are wrong in that regard, you know?
Because, again, they're not human. The humans take into consideration all the different factors. And I would love to know if, as Liam Cohen was watching those games yesterday, what he was thinking. Was he thinking if he was Sean Payton that he would have kicked the field goal or would he have gone for it?
It's interesting. I would think, just based on pass, he's going for it. You know,
but has he learned?
Has he? I don't know.
And as you watch other coaches fail using analytics, do you learn and say, you know what? I'm not going to fall into this group of sheep, right? That's what it feels like. All the NFL coaches that are using analytics as their reasoning to make dumb decisions, they're sheep. Like, be different. Kick the field goal.
Well, again, that human error thing. So back to the Stidham play. When you made that call, did you think their two defensive tackles would come in untouched and rush your quarterback into a bad throw? No, you don't, because you don't know.
You're not calculating that in.
That's not in the calculation.
Yeah, I mean, and look at we talked about it with Liam Cohen. I mentioned it about Ben Johnson. Now we're talking about it for Sean Payton and Sean McVay. All of these guys that went for it on fourth downs, you feel like changed the game because it was a field goal or a touchdown that had been affected in that moment. And again, we'll go through and we'll say if they got it, the conversation's different, but it's not. This is 4 losses by teams in the postseason because the coaches went for it on a fourth down instead of taking points.
Yeah. And it hurt them, especially in the first one. I mean, you lost by 3. You know, the second one, you could sit there and be like, all right, even if they go 31-30, Seattle going down the field, we don't know for sure. Can't sit here and say they'd stop them and you get the ball back and win the ball game. But I do know this. You don't have as far to go when you're only down by 1 as opposed by 4.
Yeah. And of course, we would have loved to see the Jaguars play the Patriots up in New England in that inclement weather, win that game, and then go to Denver, play in that weather, and win that game too. That would have been just lovely. But alas, I'm still dreaming over here. All right. We'll keep the football conversation going. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online. WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They have thousands of 5-star reviews because they do such a great job. Tires, brakes, wheel alignments, oil changes, whatever you need. Again, WeKeepJacksRollin.com. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 10 to Next on 92.5 FM.
Dan Hicken.
I'm totally unappreciated in my time.
Jeff Prosser.
We're going to work together. You might want to try trusting me.
They are the drill.
The 4 worst words in the English language.
Mornings on 1010XL.
I'm a little bit mixed up. Let me see if I can get the facts straight.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Greenlaw Group Studios.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Frank Frangie here. When you're inside the Kuhn Flowers showroom, you'll find a wide array of gift ideas that will take care of any gift-giving situation. Spend a few minutes there and you'll see for yourself. That's Kuhn Flowers on Beach Boulevard.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Get out of the city and into the woods and the water.
Keep on working it.
On the Nimnicht Outdoors Show, Captain Kevin and Captain Kirk join Jeff Lageman.
I am shooting one today.
Get hooked Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Fold City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an iCar Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months, and it takes a price lower than you want. Well, getting top price means aggressive marketing, and Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive the demand to sell your home. And they have this unbelievable promise and guarantee. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. If you need to sell now, Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy are going to aggressively market your home, and they're going to get it. Anthony and Mary in Palm Coast said, we wanted to move back home closer to family. Getting max price was more important than a fast sell, but we had only purchased our home last year, so we didn't have much equity. After just 23 days of aggressive marketing with Chad and Sandy, they sold our house at the price we needed to make the move. Call the Jacksonville experts you can trust, and I recommend. Call Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. RJ, rumor is that you have a massive basketball game tonight.
False.
False?
False. Who told you that?
That was what I was hearing in the hallways. When is the game?
Wednesday.
Oh, not until Wednesday.
It's
okay.
a massive one, though, Wednesday.
But it is big on Wednesday.
Yes.
A rematch of the championship from last season, yeah. I'll say so. Yeah.
Oh, any bad blood? Any?
Who won last year?
Not RJ's team.
Oh, okay. So revenge mode. Let's go.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Revenge game?
For me, at least.
There you go. Use that big ass under the glass.
I feel like RJ's not trying to trash talk until after the game is over.
That's right.
No, I mean, it's not that. I mean, listen, I love that team. I mean, they have a lot of great guys. Yeah, no, I mean, to say I'm not a problem, though, on the floor, okay.
All right.
That's what they said?
That's
okay.
Right.
All right.
If someone says you're not a problem, is that what we're getting at here? And you just being quiet or what?
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying that, listen, I never quote myself as being the best player on the team. Shout out to Andy. He's by far the best player on our team. But if it's a war, I'm the best soldier. And you're going to say that, you're going to say you don't have to square up against me for 12 rounds? Fine. That's cool.
You've heard them. And
he
you're
says
going
it
to
with
take
a
it to
smile,
heart.
too.
Absolutely. I love that.
I get it.
All right. In the NFC Championship, the Seahawks won 31-27. And by the way, I will tell the people out there, I don't recommend listening to our show as a collective for prop bets.
Yeah.
We did a good
House
job,
Terror.
I feel like, in as far as our preparation is concerned. However, the execution didn't go according to plan. Taylor at least got 2 out of her 3. So if you're going to
Yes.
follow someone's prop bets, more Taylor.
One catch away from getting the 3.
Also true.
Puka.
I even did research with Trent Osborne here at 1010XL since he plays way more fantasy football than I do because I don't play any. And I thought I was going to do a great job with Chase on. All I needed was 1 sack from Chase on.
Right.
I needed Kyren Williams to go over 50.5 rushing yards. Well, Blake Corum did that. Kyren Williams did not.
Right.
And then I did get the one that I thought was the easiest, which was Jarrett Stidham throwing an interception.
Yeah.
I thought he
We
was going
thought
to
that
throw
was coming.
4 at some points in that
Yeah.
game.
I thought Darnold was going to throw 2 or more, which he did through 0
Interceptions.
Yes, which was great for him. Stafford ran a little bit, but not for a touchdown.
No, 2 carries for
scratch that
16
one.
yards, which is a lot for
That's
Stafford.
more than all
13,
year combined
13
for
lost,
him.
13, so on that one he got going. And then Colby didn't have a touchdown. He had like 62 yards. That's it. Right? What do we have? 2 or 3 prop bets?
We had 3.
Plus,
Yeah.
so 2 plus the.
That's the one you forgot was the Colby Parkinson one.
Yeah. Right. I got it now. But yeah, good job, Taylor.
Thank you. Yeah,
So
I had.
put all your money
felt
on Taylor this 2
right.
weeks.
I felt like the Stafford, because it was Stafford over 1.5 touchdowns. I felt like he was going to throw 2.
Yeah, that was smart.
That one felt easy. The Cooper Kupp one, because I think it was over 29.5 yards, receiving yards. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's easy. That's all it is. That's all it is." And he barely got it. He had not 1 catch in the whole first half. And I was like, "Okay, Cooper, we're gonna need to figure this out a little bit." And then 3 catches later, he hit it. And then the other one I had was somebody get it. It was the thing said somebody on one of the teams. So I picked which one. I ended up picking the Rams would have 10 receptions, and then Puka Nacua was 1 away from that. So it was
Which
close.
Jackson
but
Smith and Jigba did have 10 catches.
and I thought that's what I picked. So the whole game I was cheering for JSN, and I was cheering for the wrong person. But I will say that was one of the more fun things to watch this weekend is JSN and Puka Nacua. They're 2 of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now, and they're just so much fun to watch. Like the whole time I was like, man, that's a number 1 wide receiver. That's a number 1 wide receiver. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. JSN's coming up on 2,000 yards. I mean, playoffs included, but wow, what a great year.
They're so good.
They're both fantastic. They're just, and they're not, they're fast, they're big, they're not overly big. I mean, they're not small, they're not big.
No, but they're not built like unicorns, or they don't.
Right.
Yeah, they're not the fastest receiver on the field.
Like DK Metcalf out there,
Correct.
although
Or Tyreek and the speed.
Right. But man, they know how to play the game.
Yeah,
and what a
they know
great
how to get
find.
open, and they know how to catch the ball. Those are the 2 most important things, obviously.
And
at that
strong,
position.
hard to get down. They're hard to get, especially Puka, man. He's so strong. He's tough to get down after the catch. And then, Jackson, he's just so fast. He can run and make things happen. But yeah, they're fun to watch, and their QB's putting it on 'em. Neither one threw a pick. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
3 touchdowns for both. Yeah, over 300 yards for both.
Man, they were whipping it around.
Obviously, most of us thought this is the game Matt Stafford would most likely have as long as the Rams protected him. I don't think anyone saw Sam Darnold coming out and playing as well as he did. I mean, obviously that's why so many people in the media today are saying like, I have to eat crow, because I thought, we all said like he sees ghosts at times if there's pressure, and the Rams, we know they can get pressure to the quarterback, but Sam Darnold just stared everybody down in the face and said, I'm going to make it to the first Super Bowl ahead of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, all those other guys in my draft class.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch him because I just feel like covering him when the NFC North side and seeing how he was playing there, it felt like something was there. My whole concern this offseason was, what does that look like with not KOC and maybe not the offensive line that he had previously, but they almost flopped line. Seattle's line ended up being better than Minnesota's line this year, which people weren't predicting that. But that was my questions, because I saw he had the arm. I saw he had the playmaking ability. I saw he had his accuracy had gotten better. His reading defenses had gotten better. You saw that a lot under Kevin O'Connell and Udinski. And that was, I think, part of the conversation of why Udinski's getting talked to, because they saw what he was able to do with Darnold and other quarterbacks. But I think that how was it all going to come together is what the biggest question was going to be. And they they've proven that they were able to fit him right into that system.
Yeah.
He has playmakers, so that helps. They're able to run the ball really well, and that's even without Charbonnet out there. So I do think that it's been fun to watch him just kind of prove people wrong, because it's been time and time again where it's like, oh, well, look what he did in the playoffs last year. Okay, well, everybody has bad play. Lamar had it several years in a row.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little bit for things to click at that level, and it definitely did this last weekend.
I mean, being harassed is that's way different than being knocked around a little bit. Like, I mean, he got hit 7 times on the paper, 3 sacks, so it wasn't like he was clean the entire game, but it wasn't harassed like he was last year. I mean, Minnesota, both those games, I mean, he was just, he couldn't
Running
do
for his
anything.
life,
I mean, he was running for his life. The minute he's dropped back, they're in his face. No quarterback can really work under those conditions. Sam's always had the arm. He's always had the legs. Big guy. Seems like a good teammate overall. Yeah, man, I like what McDonald said. He's like, he can shut up a lot of people now. He did it, right? He's doing it. And if he can go in there and win the Super Bowl, I mean, that would be unbelievable for a guy like Sam Darnold, and where he's gone, where he was, and this is his 5th team, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his 5th team. And look, don't tell me that it's not in the back of everybody's mind. Is there a time where he is going to crumble again? Like, there goes Sam. You know what I mean? Like, if he gets harassed like the rest of them, right? But he's shown that he won't perform at a high level. And you see that again. There's a little bit. I know it's in mine. I thought it would happen against the Rams a little bit. It didn't. He played phenomenal. I mean, he really did. He really stood tall and moved when he had to, stepped up when he had to, took some chances when he had to. He's got the weapons, like you said. Look, man, you can't deny that to go from Minnesota and the next year go to Seattle and still perform at a phenomenal level, including in the playoffs. Sam Darnold, man, he should hold his head wicked high and his shoulders back and say, damn right, you can eat it.
It's impressive too, because I feel like Seattle fans wanted Geno Smith to stay. And when they found out that they were getting Sam Darnold, they weren't all that excited about it. But for me, it flips the question of how many other quarterbacks did we give up on? We, the collective we, as far as the
Probably
NFL.
a lot.
Did we give up on that maybe deserved, more tutoring and more time and patience?
Yeah, and I think part of it too with him, which we've done here in Jacksonville and all around the league, we're always like, well, it's a new system, so it takes a while to do this. The amount of offenses that Sam Darnold's had to learn in his career, Baker Mayfield too, and those are 2 guys that were both on the Panthers together at one time, and they've been able. Sometimes it's just the right spot, and I don't know what it is that clicks. I don't know if it's that personal connection with the head coach or the offensive coordinator, or someone just being a little bit more patient in what needs to be fixed. And we've seen it this year with Trevor, of the directly identifying issues rather than being like, you have all the traits, you can do it, go figure it out. They said, hey, your footwork's wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And I'm sure that's what happened with Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, more direct coaching of, hey, I know you've gotten away with this through college and other places, but it's not going to work in the NFL, and this has to change. And those guys have proven that they've been able to do it. I mean, you won 14 games in Minnesota, and then now you're going to the Super Bowl in Seattle in a very close amount of time. That's hard to do.
Right. Look, when you're the number 1 pick or top pick, you're going to a bad team, and then they can't fill it in around you, like the Jets, or whoever. And then you go to Seattle, and they're pretty loaded. I mean, they've got a great defense, got a great offensive line, or good offensive line. They got weapons. Sam can throw it. He can make all the throws. He's tough enough, although he'll struggle at times under those pressure, but 99.9% of them do. He's a good leader. He's smart. He'll pick it up. You know what I mean? But it's still incredible that he's been able to go from one team to the next year and put up those kind of numbers and lead them to those kind of victories. I just think when you're early in the draft, it's like, okay, we're putting all our marbles in you. You got to carry the team for a while. And you think about Seattle, like that running game helped him when he needed it. He didn't stand back there and throw 300 yards every single game. There were games he was in the 150s. It's fine. They won the games. And the running back was the running game helped balance that. And then the defense is one of the top in the game.
Yeah. Special teams, getting touchdowns to start games.
Yeah, but he's still makes the throws.
Yeah.
You know, he still is making it happen. So even under that little bit of duress, his rating was at 127 plus.
Yeah.
So hats off to him, man. He did great.
Yeah, eventually you improve as a cerebral quarterback, right? Like you may have all the physical talents, but at some point the situational awareness that we've talked so much about that with Trevor Lawrence, and then understanding what you need to do. And obviously Jarrett Stidham.
Or you don't.
Or you don't, right?
Or you never get it.
Jarrett
Or you
Stidham
just
didn't
don't
get
get
to play enough this year to even have the opportunity to know what to do in certain situations, right? And we saw him make those mistakes in that AFC Championship game. Sam Darnold has now played a ton of football, to your point, and obviously lots of different locations now that he's on his 5th team. And he knew what to do and what not to do yesterday. And you always wonder, okay, is this the ascension time, right? Like, is this the ascension time for Trevor Lawrence? Is there no looking back at what used to all those mistakes that used to happen and the timing that was off and things like that? Like, is this now? Sam Darnold has absolutely turned the corner, or will there be regression and things like that? But to me, when we look at it early on, it feels like the Seahawks are going to win this game easily.
It does feel like that at this moment.
And
I feel
lots
like,
can
you
change.
talk about quarterbacks getting harassed this week, and Drake May, I felt like couldn't breathe at certain periods of that time during the game. And so I do think that's something Seattle's going to be like, all right, well, let's just make that happen. And I said last week, because it was the stat of like pressure wise when it comes to what Denver was able to create and pressure and Will Campbell's issues in New England. But Drake May had been able to get over some of those humps. It almost caught up a couple times this last weekend. And Seattle's going to just be like, let's just make him as uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah, I don't know that Will Campbell, I didn't watch him obviously every snap of this season, but I don't know that he's looking good enough to be the left tackle there for the Patriots.
Rough. This whole playoff has looked rough.
Right. And I've read a lot of Patriots fans are like, yes, people have only watched the last 2 games. Like, he was really good all season long.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but the competition steps up in the postseason. And if I'm Seattle, I'm going to,
I think he was good prior to recently. I think he was, but the rough years during the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it gets heightened. Everyone sees it,
Yeah,
more
that's
than
when we're all watching.
Well, especially when you whiff on certain blocks.
Yeah.
That's when everyone goes, oh, my goodness. By the way, Xavier Smith is the one who muffed the punt for the Rams. My heart goes out to him.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
Catch it.
No, I know.
Come on, man. You have one job. Like, that's your job.
But
what do you do in practice?
He had already had an issue. So and Sean McVay had to fire his special teams coordinator mid-season. So obviously they need to go a different direction for next year.
I will say, when you talk about the importance of a gunner, that's a play that kind of identified that.
Yeah.
And those are, you kind of toss them aside sometimes, but having one of those guys that can do that is big.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big mishap. I don't listen. You know how I feel. I don't feel bad for kickers when they miss. I don't feel bad for those. If you're a specialty player, that's what you do. Like, you gotta catch the ball. We're not asking you to, return it to the house every single time. But you gotta catch the damn ball.
Then they put Kyron Williams back there, and I was like, too bad these yards can't go towards my rushing total. I need these right now. But yeah, I feel like it was not that much of a surprise that we had such a great game last night. Like, you knew those two teams were coming to battle. They know each other so well. You've got Sean McVay, the offensive genius. You've got Mike McDonald, the defensive genius. And the one thing that I thought was the better quarterback would win the game, and that would be Stafford. But Sam Darnold said, not so fast, my friend.
7 points in 3 games with the difference between those two teams.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I thought it was, I said last week, I thought that Seattle would win by like 10. I just thought they were the overall better team at this point in time. I think there were moments throughout the year the Rams were probably better, but I thought coming into the playoffs and recently it looked like it was heading that direction for a minute. They were up by, I think, 11 or 12 at one point.
31-20,
and it looked like it was about to separate a little bit. Credit to the Rams and McVay. That's what he does, is keep them in games.
Yep. Yeah, they went up 31-20, and Stafford came right back in like 2.5 minutes, and 31-27. It was a game again. It was a great game. Great game.
That's why the spread was Seattle by 2.5 for sure. All right, Tom, more football to discuss. Taylor mentioned Grant Udinski. We'll get to him here in a second. Keep it right here on Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to XL 92.5 FM.
From the Queen Law Group Studios.
Helmets and Heels.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
All Are you ready to finally get organized? Well, the new year is the perfect time to do that. Lauren Brooks here, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live, from closets and garages to home offices, entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and so much more. Beautiful, functional storage for any space, lifestyle, and budget. Start the new year strong with 40% off plus an extra 15% off, free installation, and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free in-home consultation today. Call 904-878-9393 or find them online, closetsbydesign.com.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Be the first to discover the best new home community in beautiful Green Cove Springs. Highland Trail, where the rhythm of life slows down. Enjoy green spaces, luxury pools, pickleball courts, winding trails, and more at livehighlandtrail.com. Choose from 3 premium builders, just starting in the 300s.
Oh, at Highland Trail.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus, straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King, is turning up the flavor with new char wings. These wings are charbroiled, never fried, grilled to perfection for a big taste without the grease. Grab them as a 3-piece or 10-piece side, or make it a meal with a 6 or 8-piece combo, served with rice and a drink. Order pickup or delivery today from any of Flame Broiler's 5 Jacksonville locations, or call 904-619-2786. Flame Broiler, bold flavor done right.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Cancer Center with on-site imaging, including whole-body MRI, PET and CT scans, and mammography. Early detection is key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. People ask, are your solutions for thinning hair permanent? Yes, our solutions have permanent natural results and are guaranteed to work. Put our 35 years of experience helping 10,000 plus men and women to work for your thinning hair. Our trademark hair transplant procedures will give you 3 times more hair in one procedure. PRP and laser treatments are fast, easy, and effective, and only take 30 minutes. Most of our staff have experienced hair loss ourselves. Our caring and confidential team can help you look better and feel better about yourself and restoring your hair again.
For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Sometimes the conversations off air get me laughing when I'm supposed to talk about Jaguars football, but something about rom-coms and vacation. That's the last I heard. I don't know. Y'all were watching TV shows on the weekend. I was watching Gator gymnastics and Gator basketball. That was what filled up my weekend. We lost to Auburn. Thank you for asking. Yes, not ideal to lose at home with a sold-out crowd.
But you guys were like on a run though, 5-0, 4-0, or something like that.
But yeah, 5-1 in the SEC. But yeah. Look, I knew Florida wasn't going to go undefeated in all of the SEC play, but it still stings a little bit to lose at home, especially when the the head coach, Todd Golden's best friend, is the one who beats him on his own floor,
That's
right?
They're buddies.
Exactly, all that fun stuff. All right,
I blame myself because I kept cheersing to Chinyalu when we were at Colgate. I think I might have jinxed it a little bit.
That is very possible, but no, it's all right. Condon, by the way, Alex Condon only had 1 point, so Gator fans were not happy with him. But they need to stop taking so many 3-pointers. They still took 27, but only made 7.
Ooh.
All right, Jaguars news. The Bills did interview Grant Udinski yesterday here in Jacksonville. Jordan Schultz reported that he keeps hearing glowing things about Udinski's trajectory. Adam Schefter tweeted out that Sam Darnold thinks highly of Grant Udinski, and Sam Darnold is close with Josh Allen. We do know that Phillip Rivers withdrew his name from that Bills coaching search. So the Bills are still looking for a coach, and then obviously the Cardinals are still looking for a coach. The Browns are, and the Raiders are, but the news on the Browns front is that Udinski did pull his name out of the running with that, and he was given a raise, as we know, as long as he stays as the offensive coordinator for Jacksonville. So that's obviously good news. As long as the Bills don't hire him and the Cardinals don't hire Anthony Campanile, who's the only one, to my knowledge, to have a second interview with them.
Yeah. I wonder how open Liam will be for either guy and who they take. Like, because you were thinking about Campanile taking the defensive guys, then you think, like, Grant, well, what if he starts taking guys? You know, he wants some guys from the staff. And he's only 30 years old. I mean, he's been around. Like, I'm sure he could go to Minnesota. He could L.A. He could probably, piece it all together. But he would also look at guys that he just had a great year with.
Yeah, he'd have to promote guys. But I feel like Liam obviously assembled that staff. I don't know that would go over that well.
I know, that's what I feel. I almost feel like Liam would be like, hey, man, good luck. But you ain't.
You're not
trying to
coaching
win, too.
I'll give you one.
I saw some people in Bill's world talk about, because multiple people have pulled themselves out of the Bills conversation when it comes to coaching. So I've seen a lot of Bills people tweeting about how they feel like it's an indication that a lot of these people, they're not interviewing for head coach, which we mentioned that last week or the week before, where I was like, we've heard there was a loophole to where you bring them in for that head coaching position, but once you're in there, they're like, we're actually just going to promote you to the play calling offensive coordinator. And it sounds like that's what they're looking for right now. And that's kind of an odd way to do it, I feel like, doing that before getting a head coach. But it seems like a lot of the Bills people are saying, just by the way that some of these interviews have gone, it doesn't feel like it's the ones they're trying to actually make head coach.
That is interesting because, the head coach then gets to usually pick their staff.
Yeah.
So, but the Bills, as we know, are kind of a roller coaster right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the owner doesn't help with his mouth and what he said publicly.
Terry
obviously.
Pagula, and then promoting Brandon Bean. The Jaguars also hired Brandon Pacucci from the Bucs. We know that Liam Cohen wanted to hire him last year, but the Bucs blocked it, and that's no surprise because they were still upset that Liam was leaving them. Pacucci coached Liam Cohen at UMass, from 2005 to 2008, and then together they've coached at Maine, at Kentucky, and then of course at Tampa Bay as well.
He's going to be the run game coordinator.
Run game coordinator, yes.
So he was O-line coach with another guy, and then now he's going to be run game.
Yeah, in 2024, when Liam was with the Bucs, he was the assistant offensive line coach, and then last year he was promoted to offensive line coach, and then here he'll be run game coordinator. Obviously, Liam likes his offensive line coach and Sean Surratt.
I hope they asked him if he would have given the ball to Bashal Tootin at all in the second half.
Yeah, right. Analytics say no. They say no. Just give him 3 for 50. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. But 2 years ago, that's when the Bucs offense had a great running game. Great running game. So, and then it comes down to, that whole ETN conversation, pay him or not.
Kenneth Walker, by the way, made himself some money yesterday because he's now a free agent. Well, once the season ends for them, since they're going to play in the Super Bowl. And he had 19 rushes for 62 yards, rushing touchdowns, and 4 catches for 49 yards. So, he's
a good player.
Absolutely, he is. Mary Kay Cabot, by the way, said that the Browns, this was before Udinski took his name out of it, said that the Browns were leaning towards one of their offensive-minded young candidates. That would be the Rams pass game coordinator, Nate Scheelhaus, or Udinski. So they're going to have to obviously cross him off their list, and then potentially maybe Jim Schwartz, their current defensive coordinator, is still in the mix there. And then
very smart of Grant, though. Do not go to Cleveland right now. Do not do it.
I agree. And then Diana Rossini reported that the Cardinals consider Raheem Morris, Anthony Campanile, and Mike LaFleur as their lead candidates. The betting favorite is Mike LaFleur. Yes, the brother of Matt LaFleur.
Okay.
So we're just keeping an eye.
He was in with the Rams before.
Yes. keeping an eye on all of the Jaguars assistant comings and goings, and hopefully Liam doesn't have to replace anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just also nice to not have to be the one that's worried about who you're getting as a head coach and who you're going to DC. Well, hopefully not worrying about having to find a DC or an OC. If they go somewhere, then you are worried about that. But you look at the Bills right now, and it's like you have Josh Allen. Like you feel like that should be a job that people want to gravitate towards. But because of everything, all of the other dysfunction, it's still steering people away. And that's like the world we live in now. You have the quarterback, but these coaches now, a lot of them want a lot more say. So they come in. We heard John Harbaugh say that when he was like, well, I want $20 million and I want to say I want to be able to have full control over the roster. A lot of these head coaches are doing that now because they're seeing everybody get fired for rosters they didn't build. You're not giving me a quarterback. You're not giving me, X, Y, and Z. And I'm losing my job and the GMs keep theirs.
Yeah. Well, and plus the fact with McDermott, other than the first year, he was winning.
Yeah.
Going to the playoffs. I know they didn't go to the Super Bowl or go through, different levels of playoffs, but he went to the playoffs pretty much every single year. And I know coaches that have been around, the young guys like we talked about last week, you're gonna take opportunities.
Yeah.
You just are because you're young and you got time. But the older guys are like, wait a minute, you're gonna fire Sean McDermott after he did all that winning for you? And it's his fault that the quarterback missed the tight end, was wide open. And if he makes the throw, you don't fire him? Like, why would I want to go to there? Why would I want to be a part of the Bills other than being next to Josh Allen?
Yeah.
But if I know that that's how the ownership treats guys that have been successful, why would I go there?
Setting yourself up for failure. The Steelers, by the way, hired Mike McCarthy. That's their fourth coach since the moon landing.
Yeah. Steelers
Landing on
fans
the
do
moon.
not like that.
Yeah.
No, they're
I
not.
haven't seen one that like
They're
that.
not happy
I've
about
seen that too, but which got me thinking. So I looked up John Harbaugh's record and Mike McCarthy. They're almost identical. But if Harbaugh was the Steelers coach, would they like that? That's another one where you're like, well, how did you fire a guy like John Harbaugh? He won. He got you.
A lot of people with Mike McCarthy say a lot of his good record comes from Aaron Rodgers. And outside of Aaron Rodgers, he's had a lot of struggles in like developing and getting new things going with quarterbacks. That's the argument with him a lot is Aaron Rodgers kind of saved his record for a lot of years when it comes to that win-loss record.
I mean, did Lamar, same for Lamar?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
Harbaugh's
successful
record in the
before
playoffs was better pre-Lamar
Yeah.
than it was post-Lamar.
But yeah, Mike Tomlin, I feel like, is sitting around going, yeah, Mike McCarthy, you think you're going to have every single season above 500?
Have fun.
Certainly, yeah. Good luck with that. To your point, the Ravens hired Jesse Minter, never been a head coach before in the NFL, so that should be interesting.
He was
The
a hot name,
Dolphins-
though. There's a lot of people talking about him.
for sure.
Yeah, the former
last
Chargers
year too,
defensive-
I think. Yeah, his name was up there.
And then we've already talked about Titans hired Robert Saleh, Dolphins, Jeff Halfley, and then, of course, Giants and Harbaugh. But look, at the end of the day, we have no idea which of these guys are going to be super successful in the next 3 years. And there's so much that factors into it, which is roster building as well. All right, more to do, including Tom's takeaways on the other side. You are listening to a Big Chief Tire Monday. Helmets and Heels, 10 to Next on 92.5 FM.
The votes are in for the Folio Weekly Best of Jacks Awards. The award for Best Sports Radio Show goes to
Helmets and Heels.
The winner for Best Radio Sports Anchor is
Dan Hicken.
Hear them every day on 1010XL.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Green Law Group Studios.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's time to treat yourself to something special.
What better way to start the year than with a stunning Cadillac from Randy Marion Cadillac?
My dad, Randy Marion, is the king of price, and we've got unbeatable prices and a great selection to choose from.
You can see all the inventory at randymarioncadillacjacksonville.com.
And don't forget, we need your car even if you don't buy from us.
Ask for Sean Spencer and he'll pay top dollar for your vehicle. Drive to Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville. Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resistol on approved credit.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 26, 2020, NBA legend Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 other passengers tragically passed in a helicopter accident in California.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
New year, new lifetime dreams. Let's build them together. Jeff Breyer here with the Lifetime family of companies, your local backyard
and indoor
home improvement specialists.
That's right, Dad. Lifetime enclosures, Lifetime flooring, and Lifetime windows.
Glass and screen enclosures, outdoor kitchens, pergolas, replacement windows, all to enhance your home's livability and value. And a huge flooring showroom with thousands of the latest tile, LVP, hardwood, and carpet selections to help you fall in love with your home again.
Come experience the Lifetime difference. Call or visit one of our showrooms today for our limited Lifetime offers.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
The Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach is better than ever. Come experience our new renovated spaces, including an expanded wellness center with upgraded state-of-the-art equipment, recovery solutions, brand new locker rooms, and the Horsell Center for Health and Well-Being, all designed to help you feel your best. And now you can join with no joining fee. Plus, enjoy your 4th month free. There's no place like this place. And you'll love what's new. Visit the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach.
Feel the power of Van Halen. Live, jump, America's Van Halen experience. Iconic riffs and David Lee Roth era energy. Sunday, February 1st at Thrasher Horn Center. Get tickets now at thcenter.org.
Give a unique gift this Valentine's Day to that special person in your life with a custom-made candle or body care product from Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jax Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
By the way, the promo ran before I could mention it on air. Helmets and Heels voted best sports talk radio show, thanks to our friends at Folio Weekly. That's right, RJ.
And
Round
all of you
applause.
voters, thank you. Our
Yeah,
patrons.
thank you so much. And you know that we have an absolute blast doing this show.
That's right.
Most of the time we agree, but when we don't, it's even more fun.
It's right. It's always fun. As long as we're laughing, it's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
time. No doubt about it. Congrats to both of you.
Congrats to all of
It's
you.
all, well, it's all three of us. Yeah, but
We're
I'm
glad
just
you
saying,
joined
congrats.
us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Glad
Good to be
you're
here.
We were missing something until we got our helmet to add to the
I mean,
heels.
it was in the title.
I was in that meeting back in 2014, summer 2014, when Steve Griffin decided to launch the show in partnership with the Jaguars. And we were going round and round about what we should name the show. And I forget now because it's been so long, but
The other options.
The other options, yeah. I think Gridiron Girls, something along those lines. And then like Pigskins and Ponytails was another one.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Right.
We would have had to change that now. Unless we get Tommy to grow a mullet.
He's the pigskin.
A mullet. You never know. You never know.
You never know is right. All right. You also never know what Tom's going to take away.
Now,
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's Takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, my takeaway today on this beautiful Monday afternoon is honor the Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you will find you'll get what you need. Shout out to Chad Muma, Dearness Johnson, and of course, Chason,
Kaylavon
Chason for not working out here in Jacksonville. It's probably a terrible moment when you got cut. You probably felt like down in the dumps, didn't know where you're going, and now you're going to the Super Bowl. How about that?
Shaq Griffin and Jason Myers.
Oh, on the other side.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. We'll throw them into the mix. But, of course, that's what the NFL is all about, right? If you don't, they tell you all the time, hey, you're putting your tape on, your play on film so everybody can see, and you just never know. If you're not a fit here, you could be a fit somewhere else, and those players are going to the biggest show in town. Congratulations to all 5 of them, and obviously we hope we are there next year as Jaguars. That's my takeaway, brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
That was kind of the crappiest part of watching that game. Not the other players. That none of those guys I'm rooting against. It didn't work here. It's not. There's certain people that leave, and you're like, bye. I hope everything doesn't go your way. But not any of those players personally. But watching it and just being like, the AFC was not good. Like, the AFC was kind of crappy this year, and you felt like the Jaguars should have been there in the whole game. That's what I kept thinking the whole time, is the Jags are better than these two teams playing right now.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Jags and Bills could have been 2 of the best teams in the AFC, and it just so happens, obviously, that they had to play each other in the wild card. But look, at the end of the day, you can't make these excuses. You let Josh Allen complete 80% of his passes against you. You lost at home. And I really don't know how this team would have done in those elements, right? Like both in New England and in Denver. If you're not able to get anything going on the ground because of the weather, I don't know that the passing game would have been able to take over. And I don't know that the Jaguars would have had enough pass rush. And I don't know that the secondary would have stood up. So some of these really talented players they would have gone against. But at the end of the day, we would have much rather have preferred at least the Jags to beat the Bills at home, go to New England, and then see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to say when you didn't play New England this year.
Correct.
So, and they won a lot of ball games, and I know the rhetoric is their schedule wasn't too tough, but they still won a ton of football games. Denver gave 'em a good run for their money. We don't know what they'd been like. A rematch, you just never know in a rematch. You had them that day. You had their number the day you went out there and you beat the crap out of them.
Yep, with Bo Nix.
That doesn't all, but right. I'm just saying that doesn't always equate to
the next.
It's always going to happen again. You just never know. But I mean, I know this. We would have gone toe to toe with anybody in the FC that was in the playoffs for sure. But you didn't win. Buffalo beat you. There was no this, that, whatever. Could he have done a couple things different? Make a kick. Different decision, stop them on offense, on defense a little bit more. Yeah, of course you could, but at the end of the day, you didn't. So it's hard to sit there and be like, if this and if that, because the reality is you didn't get past Buffalo in the opening round, and they beat you fair and square, and it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson because you really did kind of come unraveled as a team. You did stuff that day that you weren't doing the final, the weeks prior to. So you learn that lesson, and it's not just winning 13 games. We want to get to the playoffs and then move on in the playoffs, right? So
for sure.
That's something that they can work towards, and hopefully they can repeat what they did this year. I'm not expecting 13 wins, but being in the hunt, for that division lead and for getting in the playoffs, that's kind of the expectation here moving forward.
For sure. I think double-digit wins will probably be the expectation. It was sad to me seeing they showed Bo Nix kind of in the suite early in that game, and then
I know
I was like, if I was him, I would have at least wanted to be on the sidelines to be able to talk to Jarrett Stidham through things. Not that he's a coach by any means, but he knows this offense so well. I don't know if it's because he had just had surgery
Maybe
that's why
he's on crutches. He can't put weight on it or something.
But I was like, I would have hated being. And it was cold. I would have hated being separated from my teammates. Like at least in the NFC Championship game, they showed Seahawks running back Zach Charbonnet on the sidelines, and I was like, well, he's out for the rest of season 2, but at least he gets to talk to his guys and pat his guys like Kenneth Walker and others.
Yeah, I tell you one thing, you saw it, and Nick's would have done it too. Drake's done it, Trevor's done it. You see these guys, man. When it ain't there, you run. If you can't get it there with your arm, man, take off and run. It's such a dagger when you do it, and really for May, I mean, he's done it all postseason. He's had to. He hasn't had the best outing, in the passing game for whatever reason, but he's taken over with his legs. Seen it right here in Jacksonville. Changed Trevor. Help change his game, and Bo would have done it. And I think that's what they should have done with Stidham a little bit more, do some kind of called runs, get him a chance to move a little bit.
They must have been so afraid that if he got hit and knocked out, like they had They have nothing.
They had
behind
DiNucci,
him.
I think's his name.
Yeah,
Ben DiNucci, I think
yeah.
they signed
Sure,
during the
yeah,
week.
that'll get you to win the
Yeah,
championship.
yeah.
That's what's so crazy when it comes to we're such in this mindset that it's a passing league and the quarterbacks, and you have to have your quarterback. And not saying because Drake May obviously all year has been fantastic, but in the postseason he's like barely over 50%, and then he has 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 6 fumbles. That's crazy to be able to win football games that way consistently. But when you have a defense and you can run the ball,
yes.
it
That's
gets
why
you
we
through some of that
don't
stuff.
think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
I suppose you never know. All right, Lauren's Lane on the other side. Keep it locked and loaded. Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to X on 92.5 FM.
Jaguars beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Yeah, I do competitive ice dancing.
What they use on the space shuttle to prevent it from burning up on re-entry.
I do very competitive ice dancing.
On the Frangie Show. Weekday afternoons on 1010XL.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group.
For the insured.
Fighting for you.
Playoff football calls for the grill. The January Rancher Box from local Fair Jacks is packed with pasture-raised beef, free-range chicken, and pork. All local, all delivered. Stock up for game day at localfairjacks.com.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. If you're looking for the best selection of trucks in Jacksonville, it's truck time at Big Number 1 Duval Ford. They've got Jacksonville's largest lineup of brand new trucks with massive discounts. Over $10,000 off select models. That's right, savings you won't find anywhere else. Your next truck is waiting for you at Big Number 1 Duval Ford, so visit DuvalFord.com or stop by 1616 Cassett Avenue today. It's truck time at Duval Ford.
If you can't wait for kickoff, tip-off, or the first pitch, get your Gator fix anytime with a Gator podcast channel. Exclusive Florida Gator content from 1010XL. Set up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
You have numbness and tingling in your fingers, or wake up at night and have to shake your hand. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari, and at Bari Orthopedics, we have a myriad of treatments that can possibly help you. If you have numbness and tingling, you may have carpal tunnel. We have cortisone injections, PRP injections, and shockwave therapy that may help treat the numbness and tingling that you have. We also treat it surgically with endoscopic carpal tunnel release, a 2-centimeter incision that will release the nerve and have you back at work and doing what you want to do in life in no time. If you have numbness and tingling in your hand, give us a call at Bari Orthopedics or log on at BariOrthopedics.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Basketball is back as Division I college basketball takes center stage with the UNF Ospreys. Osprey basketball returns home to CSI Company's court at UNF Arena this Thursday, January 29th, against the Hatters from Stetson. So make your plans to see the Ospreys in action at UNF Arena on Thursday, January 29th, against Stetson. Tip-off at 7. Visit UNFOspreys.com/buy tickets now to secure your seats. UNFOspreys.com/buy tickets now.
Swoop! Fence problems? The old one falling apart and leaning over? Well, if it's time for a new one, call Duval Fence today at 260-4747 for a quality job. Restore the look and privacy you expect. Trust the experts. DuvalFence.com.
What Major League Baseball player has the most stolen bases in his career?
Just letting your homeowner's insurance renew each year may cost you money. Shop around and you may find a better plan. Let Southern Oak Insurance give you an option at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Oakland A's outfielder Ricky Henderson stole 1,406 bases during his career, including 130 in 1982.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Looking for that designer engagement ring like Tacori or Veragio? Then hear this. The only locally owned authorized dealer here for these exquisite rings is Beard's Diamonds. Beard's is your destination for the top names in bridal design. Tacori, Viraggio, Sylvie, Gabriel and Company, Gnome Carver, and more. If she's seen it on Pinterest or in a bridal magazine, Beard's has it. Exquisite, handcrafted, and made in America. So you can get her the ring of her dreams without having to go to one of those national mega chain jewelers. At Beard's, there's no big company rules, no Wall Street sales goals, no impersonal service. The non-commissioned experts at Beard's Diamonds will take their time and let you see dozens of ring styles from all the most sought-after designers. Beard's is proud to be Jacksonville's premier jeweler for nearly 45 years. We're committed to this area and promise an authentic, refined, and risk-free experience without markups, without pricing games, without corporate red tape getting in the way of making you happy. Beard's Diamonds, Jacksonville's diamond store, at the shops at St. John's Town Center.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. The Orlando Magic will look for redemption against the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight at 7 o'clock after a disappointing 119-105 loss to them. On Saturday, the Gators fell short to Auburn this weekend, 76-67. Thomas Houck had 27 points and 10 boards, but it wasn't enough. They'll take on South Carolina Wednesday at 9. It's 55 degrees at 3:04 time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
All right. If either of the Jaguars coordinators are hired away to be head coaches, fear not, because we've seen a pattern like that under Sean McVay. So here are Sean McVay's coordinators since 2017. Matt LaFleur was the offensive, Wade Phillips defensive. Both in 2018 and 2019, there was no offensive coordinator even listed for the Rams. Wade Phillips was still defensive coordinator. 2020, Kevin O'Connell and Brandon Staley. 2021, Kevin O'Connell and Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris would then be the defensive coordinator for the next 2 years. 2022, as we know, Liam Cohen. 2023 through 2025, Mike LaFleur on the offensive side. And then 2024 and 2025, Chris Shula. So the years that they had the exact same coordinator 2 years in a row, none. He's never been able to retain both for 2 years in a row.
Wow.
So Liam Cohen certainly is used to that happening in a place, obviously, where his mentor works.
Well, and it helps that you call the plays, right? McVay
Yes,
calls the plays, I would imagine. So if he has to take that over full time, he will, or does, and has been.
Yep.
I think the same for Liam. You know, that's why, like, I don't want any of them to leave, but if I had to pick, I'd rather have Grant go, because I think they'll be okay. And that doesn't mean that Grant's not great. It just means that Liam's the play caller. It's his offense, and he'll know exactly what to do. Defensively, we don't know who will be the replacement. We don't know who will be calling plays if Anthony were to leave. You know what I mean? So I think when you have a coach that calls his plays, that especially on offense, and when you have the QB in place, that goes a long way beyond any kind of value. You know what I mean?
And I think, too, because that's why I've been so hesitant about defensive-minded coaches nowadays, because I do feel like if you have that defensive-minded coach, it may work in the sense of they hire the right people and they're a great coach. Of Vrabel, we're seeing that obviously go to the Super Bowl.
McDonald and Vrabel.
Yeah, both actually. And so then what happens when people start poaching? Then that quarterback has another play caller and has another offensive coordinator, and that's when things get messy. But when you have a situation like Sean McVay, who has just pumped out, we know, coach after coach after coach, but because he calls the plays and because he's such a, granted, you have also had two quarterbacks that have worked for you too, so the quarterback is part of this conversation also, but you don't have to switch so much up offensively when it comes to that QB. And the defense, I do think we've seen replacements kind of come in a little easier in certain areas, especially when you have a QB like Matthew Stafford who can score 30 point, high 20s, 30 a game. You don't have to have a top tier defense, but they're able to do both at especially the last few years. They had the one season where they went 5-12 during that time, but outside of that, they've been to the playoffs a ton. They've won the Super Bowl, and there's a lot of good things that come out of that. But I do think that's why so many people, and we saw the Bears and the Jags go the way they did last season, because they saw how well it's worked for the Rams.
What's crazy crazy is Sean McVay's not quite 40, right?
Yeah.
He's like closing in on 40. And did you hear all those guys that have become head coaches that have worked for him?
Yep.
Matt LaFleur, Kevin O'Connell, Brandon Staley, Liam Cohen, Raheem Morris, potentially now Mike LaFleur, and I know Chris Shula is getting some attention as well. Like, that's insane to have that type of coaching tree.
It's a
at
good
this
track
age.
record right there.
It shows you that you think the head coach's job is done at a certain point. It's never really done because that can happen. Look at Dan Campbell up in Detroit. You can't tell me they didn't suffer with those guys leaving.
Yep.
They did, and I don't think he picked the right guys to replace him because he took over the play calling duties. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to make sure that you got guys that are ready to go, or you got a friend that is ready to go that is looking for a job, because they can come and grab your guys. Obviously, you don't want to stop the coordinators from going to head coach. That would look terrible. You wouldn't do that. Now, the parallel move, you would. You'd be a lateral move, you could.
We saw Udinski get a pay bump, and he's going to get that moving forward because he was looked at for other head coaching jobs. So if Udinski doesn't get those calls, I don't know that he necessarily gets the
pay
raise.
bump too. Yeah. Well, and that's what Dan Campbell, I think, probably learned something from this last year in the sense of he maybe got a little too arrogant in the sense of we have everything, we have all the weapons. We had Morton, who was learning under Ben Johnson through this whole time. We don't have to go out and hire somebody because he's been behind Ben Johnson and working with this offense. So we can just pull him right up and everything's going to kind of glide easily. And clearly that didn't work. So I'm sure Dan Campbell learned something from this last hiring of, okay, maybe you can have that experience, but when you talk about actually having the play calling ability and being able to have that experience and stuff like that, maybe that is what you need, especially when you're losing losing your defensive coordinator and your offensive coordinator at one time. You're filling in two really big roles. And then when he took the play calling, it didn't get much better. So it shows how much was Ben Johnson and how much was the creativity there. The run game got way worse for them this year. Goff still played like Goff, but the offense didn't function the way that it had the previous couple seasons. And I think that he got a little complacent rather than having to go and be like, let me go get another stud offensive play caller. And I'm sure he's learned from that.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, when you have the QB, that helps too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you look at McDonald's, so say Clint Kubiak leaves or whatever, at least you got Sam Darnold and he knows who he likes, and maybe there's somebody with, in the building that he already is a quarterback coach. It's a passing game coordinator. It's a Grant Udinski type. Who knows? I feel very comfortable with him. We talk. And for the record, I only know this because I remember asking Brant Boyer, who's been a coach now for like 12 years. He says most, if not all, coaches that haven't been head coaches, they have a plan if they ever were given that opportunity. Like, who would I want as my coordinator? Who I want as my – and you have it in a book, literally. And it might change, but you go back and change it, whatever the case may be. So you always got to be ready for that. But it just shows you again, like, okay, so we've got this great head coach and a great play call and a great defensive coordinator. And okay, we're kicking ass this year and it looks good and they're going to come back next year. And next thing you know, they're getting interviewed for other jobs. Like you almost have to have like an underling per each guy to make sure that they understand exactly what he's doing. And if he does go, you're the next, it's like that forward thinking, but you can't go too forward because then you'll mess up the current year. You know what I mean? To me, that balance is pretty incredible to have to do that as a head football coach.
Yeah, and I think Taylor just sent out panic signals to all of Jacksonville because they've been thinking, to your point earlier, Tom, like, would you rather lose Grant Udinski or Anthony Campanile? I don't think people have really thought through,
if
like,
both go somewhere.
What if they both got hired?
Right.
Like, that is certainly rocking the boat that you had last year that got you to the 13 wins. But you have to look back and say to yourself, Liam Cohen is a really smart guy when it comes to hiring people. That's why they're already in the mix. Like, it is unbelievable to me, really, that Grant Udinski has shot up as fast as he has. I mean, we had the story where he was living out of his car, just trying to get in with a team at some point in time. And now only 1 year as an offensive coordinator, not even the play caller, but yet people are hearing such great things about him.
And the likability. Right, as you go along to these different places and jobs, you leave this, thing behind. Like, man, I really liked him. He's a really good guy, really smart guy. Look what he did for our quarterback. Oh, he's going to do great in Jacksonville, and then so on and so forth. You know what I mean? It's like, because like Liam, like the one tricky part these younger guys have that haven't been head coaches, who's your staff? How are you going to find them? Like, I remember when Liam got hired, you're like, how's he going to find all his guys? Like, who are his guys? Obviously he figured it out and put it together. together, and it took a little time, but that's part of it too. Like, do you have enough relationships over the years so you can say, yeah, I'm taking so-and-so. He already said he'd come. I've got this guy. I've got that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of pre-prep to make sure you got, your A game on if you're going to be one of those candidates.
Yeah, and when you're 30, how you've
right,
been in the
right,
league for like 5 years, how do you have that? But yeah, great.
You're calling
relationships
people
are part of that.
20 years older than you, like, hey, do you want to work for me?
They're like, yes.
I do.
Yeah, I need a job.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about earlier, Liam Cohen hired one of the guys that coached him when he was at UMass.
Yeah.
Just recently with the hire over the weekend of Brian Picucci and the run game coordinator. All right, more to do on the other side. We'll get into some college football, so keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, provided by Green Law Group.
Here we come.
1010XL.
Here we go. Here's all you need to know.
Jacksonville Sports Radio is 1010XL.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
It may be winter in Northeast Florida, but it's one of the most important times to protect your lawn. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. Their winterizer strengthens roots and improves cold tolerance. Pre-emergent treatments stop spring weeds before they ever start. What that means is you set the stage for a thicker, greener lawn when spring arrives. Call today to schedule your winter lawn treatment with Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
How does it feel to throw an NFL touchdown? Find out from a guy who's thrown 89 of them.
I'm David Garrard on 1010XL.
Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Frank Franzi here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
The Florida Forum welcomes former Russian political prisoner and Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Vladimir Kara-Murza at the Center of Performing Arts. Hear his powerful story of courage, imprisonment, and freedom, February 3rd. All proceeds for the Florida Forum benefit the Women's Board of Wolfson Children's Hospital, supporting a new outdoor play area for behavioral health services. Still to come, Chef Jose Andres on March 31st. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
If your home doesn't have a fireplace, CSS can install a beautiful electric or gas fireplace from Heat & Glow with no major remodel required. See their showroom or CSSOutdoor.com for a free estimate. CSS, you dream it, we build it.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here. And look, I get the question a lot. Hacker, tell me about Awaken 180 weight loss. Well, where do I begin? It's the best weight loss program I've ever been on. When I started Awaken 180 back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In the next calendar year, I lost 110 pounds on the program. There were no shots. There were no pills. It was the coaching I got. My coach, Kate, was with me every step of the way. Awaken 180 weight loss is an all-natural solution to weight loss. If you follow their program, their guidance, you will lose the weight. I'm living proof. If it's time for you to make that change in your life, like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Welcome back to a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They've been in business for over 60 years, and they now have 6 locations around Jacksonville. Make sure you get all of your automotive needs at Big Chief Tire. All right, little college football news that came out today. The Florida Orange and Blue spring game will be held Saturday, April 11th. That part we knew, but it will kick off at noon. We do not know anything yet about the broadcast information. If it's like last year, it will not be broadcast, not streamed, not televised. Obviously, the games used to all be televised.
Yeah.
The Georgia G-Day, they have not announced a date yet. It's usually mid-April, so you would expect that right around the same time. And Florida State has not made any announcement on its spring game. But we do know that fans will be able to attend Saturday, April 11th at noon. So talking about college football, Josh Pate is not necessarily going to join us. He's got some weather issues that he has to deal with, and certainly thoughts and prayers to everybody who is without power going through those winter storms. We can just look at pictures and just say, I don't even know how we would get through it because it's just so insane with all that ice and everything. But Josh Pate, of course, very famous when it comes to college football show, and I think he has a really smart outlook on what he would do with the changes to the actual scheduling. So here he is.
Step 1. I would like to move week 1 to what week 0 currently is, which leads to a revolutionary Thanksgiving weekend. It's where step 2 comes into play. We're going to have conference championship games. We're just going to have them Thanksgiving weekend instead of the week after Thanksgiving. We have a big problem in this sport right now. Bowl season has been rendered largely irrelevant compared to what it used to be. I'd like to take 6 bowls. Don't particularly care which ones they are. Let's just call it the Citrus Bowl and the Pop-Tart Bowl, Cheez-It Bowl, etc. Either that Friday after Thanksgiving or that Saturday. You guys can choose. Take all the teams that are going to play in conference championship games, take them off the board. They're already preoccupied. These are bowl games. They are also college football playoff data points. These games count. The day after, that Saturday, that is Selection Sunday, 9 a.m. It's an NFL Sunday. We're not scared of the NFL around here, but we're also not going to be stupid and run opposed to them. So we're going to reveal the college football playoff rankings and seedings and the bracket 9 a.m. that Sunday. And then step 5, round 1 happens a week later. Round 1 of the college football playoff on campus is held the first Saturday in December. Round 2 of the college football playoff held on campus is held the second Saturday in December. Round 3, finally going to kick it to a neutral site only because I think I have to. I don't want to. That's the third Saturday in December. And then we break for Christmas, and our national championship game is held New Year's Day.
So I love the idea of moving week 1 to week 0 because right now college football really only has like 1 or so games of significance that very first week. But why not kickstart things a little bit earlier in the season? And you're really only at that point in time competing against preseason football.
Yeah.
I think a college football regular season game would outdraw preseason football for the NFL. But either way, and then Thanksgiving weekend would be magical.
Fantastic.
And I absolutely love the idea. And it's way more of a true playoff when it comes to the 6 games that then would determine who also gets to join the college football playoff in addition to the conference champions. So good stuff there from Josh Pate's college football show.
Yeah, I think the one thing they'd have to figure out that New Year's Day, which I love. It used to be like that.
Yeah.
All the bowl games were on New Year's Day and the college season was over, is if that falls on an NFL weekend, you know, and you know what I mean? Like, is it a Saturday or Sunday when we're kind of showing Saturday games? You know how we do that at the end of the year, you know, like can they figure that out? I'm sure they can. and that date moves every year. So.
And also, can't someone from the world of college football, whether it's Greg Sankey or Tony Pacetti, the SEC and Big Ten commissioners respectively, have a conversation with Roger Goodell and or one of Roger Goodell's marketing people? And
like, can we just have Saturday?
Correct, and negotiate because the NFL needs college football clearly for its product.
Yeah, and it's not obviously every year you'd have to have that conversation because it would move throughout, each year it would change a little bit. But I love it in the idea we talk now. Number one, the season would be over before that portal that we've been talking about. That doesn't make sense because the college football playoff now goes to late January and it just doesn't all add up in timing when it comes to the calendar. This calendar eliminates that problem, which I think is huge. It has a more what feels like structured, like, okay, you're starting at the end of August and you are done on New Year's Day. This is what college football, this is what it is. And that's what I feel like it should be. And then it's the NFL, and that's what January has been and should be as the NFL playoffs, not trying to be like, okay, well, we have games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you have to also now have a Monday night national, football, the Natty on a Monday night. I feel like it would work for a lot of people. I also like just not having the gaps of time. There's a big gap now between where teams play between when the season ends and then when the actual playoffs start. You don't need that. I don't understand why the winner that goes to the national championship would have Christmas break off, so you'd get that bye in between. On Christmas
when they're
weekend.
supposed to take tests and whatnot, finals.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
Do we care about them
school.
as student athletes anymore? I don't think so.
The one thing I'm interested is what they would do with bye weeks, because right now, obviously, I don't personally love the 2 bye weeks in college football. This year, it's like you play 2 games and you have a bye, and then I feel like for teams that you're trying to get momentum or things are just getting picked up, and then you have a bye and you pause everything for really early in the beginning of the year. I don't love that, so I'd like to see how you solve that too. But I do think it just sounds so much more functional, and it sounds like this is college football season rather than trying to make it this big. Here we're going to go from here to the end of January.
I think I don't mean this such a negative way, but they got to get rid of some of the bowls in general. Like, 6-6, you should not be in a bowl. You just shouldn't. It's 500 football. That's not a good year. It's an average year. Let's quit rewarding for average.
But the networks love the bowl games because they get viewers, and that's what it's all about to them, right? Is being able to sell advertising. And so the TV networks are the reason that we still have all those bowls. But I don't think, Tom, I don't know that the lesser tier bowls are hurting the total product of college football. Like,
I don't watch them,
and that's perfectly fine. Most people don't, but as far as the college football playoff goes,
that's different.
That was where I love the idea of having teams, and this is a win-or-lose game, or win-or-lose. This is a get in if you win the game and you're out of the college playoff. If not, or if you don't pass the eye test, you're not one of the last few teams in. I love that.
Yeah, and it's like the NFL. Like, you finish a season, next week's a wild card.
Yeah.
You get right into the playoff tournament, man. Get it going.
I don't know how well all of those other bowl games would work in this system because there's not that in between where there's not the important college football playoff. You're going straight from the season to that conference championship weekend, and then how his alignment of getting the deciding factor of who else gets into the college football playoff. Then that next week you're right into the college football playoff. So I guess you scatter them on like Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday that week. But then and then to Tommy's point, then I'm guessing the viewership that's already kind of low with some of those bowl games is going to plummet. And then you're also battling the NFL because in December in the NFL, we had games on almost every single day of the week.
And that's obviously the problem. Once they went to the 12-team college football playoff, those bowls that aren't amongst the college football playoff bowls are getting left far behind. But we don't even have to really concern ourselves with those. And look, the Gator Bowl, if the Gator Bowl wants to be here for the next 50 years, by all means, like, keep the tradition. Fan bases love coming to Jacksonville, Florida, and they get to enjoy that. It'd be cool if all of those certain tier bowls were then a part of the college football playoff. So it's not just the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, things like that. It's now like if Jacksonville, especially with the Stadium of the Future, could be the host of
one of those that get you into one of the teams into the college football playoff.
Because obviously, like he said, the first couple would be, and he is Josh Pate, the first couple would be on campuses and then move to neutral sites. And the reason that he's like, I don't love it, but I feel like I have to do it, is financially, because those neutral sites are paying
a lot
so
of money.
much money that the on campuses isn't going to pay.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, those things are massive, and people travel to them and fill up those massive arenas, and in Atlanta or wherever, New Orleans, wherever they may be. So Got to keep those, and I get that. I like it. I mean, I got to see more of it, like on like really look at it on a paper. But I like that they speed it up. There's too much gap in between, especially at the end with the playoffs. It felt like this year, like you'd play a game and then you wouldn't play for 8 days, maybe 10 days. It felt like that anyway. Too many in between.
Well, because that first round or the first 4 seeds all have buys.
Yeah.
Right, and they don't want the bye because they all lost.
Yeah.
Most of
well,
my
and that's
teams.
what I feel like I love the whole premise of everything. There's a lot of details you would still have to work out, but we've talked about it. As I was saying, when it comes to that portal, I think that's huge because we've had the conversations of kids are playing still in the college football playoff and having to decide if they're enter the portal during that time. That would eliminate that conversation completely, which we've also talked about during March Madness because the same thing happens. The basketball portal opens in the middle of the March Madness, right in the middle of the tourney season. And so being able to eliminate some of those things and not having players have to decide if they're staying at a school while they're playing or a coach having to figure some of those things out, I think eliminates a lot of the issues that we've seen in college football recently.
I think they should also. I mean, look, if you had to move the portal to like February 1 in this new thing or late January, that's fine. But then that should be it. That you're there for the year. Or go, wait till the next year at that time to go to another school if you want.
I definitely don't like the 2 open dates at the 2 windows. To me, it's not helping anyone, whether it's the players or the schools, to have that like, I just went through all of spring practice and now I can transfer to another school.
That one's gone though, right?
I think
it was last. They did, but was that permanently gone?
I thought they removed the second
one. Good, they
one,
need to. I mean, Jimmy doesn't win the job in spring ball and he's going to take his ball and go home. No, too bad, buddy. Wait a year.
Exactly. And by the way, we did find out on Friday that the commissioners could not agree to move it to 16 teams.
Yeah.
It will remain at 12 teams. And look, that's no surprise to me because they never get along. Everybody is fighting for, that's what we talked to Rick Neuheisel about this.
Right.
Everyone cares about their own thing. And that shouldn't really surprise anyone in today's day and age. A lot of people only care about what helps them. They don't worry about the collective, right? And so, no surprise to me there. And I did also like the selection Sunday at 9 a.m., like following that,
me too.
that weekend. Don't make us wait till like
8 p.m. or whatever
1
it is,
p.m. or any of those times. All right, more to do on the other side. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels. Bought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. Non-stop Knowles. Search 1010XL Seminoles on YouTube.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
and drainage too.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
We've all been there. You hear about an incredible event Monday morning, but it happens Sunday. Stop missing out. Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida, and we have the solution. From under-the-radar sporting events to the perfect family outing or date night, Visit Jacksonville is your all-access pass to the city. Plan your 2026 season at visitjacksonville.com/locals. Visitjacksonville.com/locals. Or download the Visit Jax app for the full lineup. See what you've been missing.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades. And then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Bueller.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, is that a turtleneck?
Can't you feel it, Jason? There's a chill in the air, a definite nip.
I mean, it is January.
In Jacksonville, Jason, I didn't come here for cold.
Well, I wouldn't call this.
Cold weather gives me the sniffles. Sniffles turns to pneumonia. Suddenly, I'm in a hospital bed with a tube down my throat because Florida didn't get the memo about ignoring winter.
So switch over to heat.
What if my system can't remember how to heat?
Dude, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can make sure your system is ready to switch from cooling to heat. We'll clean your heating coil to get rid of that burning dust smell and make sure you have the coolant pressure to keep your heat pump pumping out the heat.
Huh, I had no idea these sunglasses worked in the winter.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farrah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Does the Pro Bowl give out gold?
Yeah, golden nuggets. We did have some breaking news earlier in the day. It was announced that Shedeur Sanders has been named to the NFL Pro Bowl. Sanders he's taken Drake May's position. Obviously, Drake May headed on to the Super Bowl. Yeah, so joining Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and Shedeur Sanders there over Trevor Lawrence. I don't know the situation in that. A lot of times, obviously, we've seen previous years where quarterbacks will turn down the opportunity to do that, especially what the Pro Bowl has turned into. It doesn't feel like it has the exact feel as before. I feel like the NFL is smart too, in the sense of they know that Shedeur Sanders will get people talking about the Pro Bowl because anything he and the Sanders are involved in, it gets talked about. So they're smart in the sense of that.
Yeah, I don't think he was the most deserving quarterback up next, but the fact that they made the announcement that he was the replacement, makes me think that maybe they went to some other quarterbacks and they all decided, I don't want to spend part of my offseason playing in a flag football game.
Whether they're hurt or banged up or just were like, no, thank you.
Right. I also think the NFL doesn't care about the Pro Bowl games anymore.
Right. And let's give it to a guy that'll bring eyeballs to the games, and he will.
And
I don't have a problem with that. I bet you guys just said no, and then they got to him and like, all right, he's maybe down on the list, but he'll be fun. He'll bring some juice to it and let him compete, and
But in the past, I feel like we've seen the Pro Bowl say certain players did get the offer and then decided not to do it. And so that information was, okay, these quarterbacks or whatever position declined, and so this is the next guy up who accepted, but we didn't see that at all. It was just all of a sudden today.
Shedeur's going.
Drake May's out. He's in the Super Bowl.
Next man up, Shedeur
Sanders.
Sanders. What? Then this is when we have to separate now in the future, because in 10 years, you can't be like, well, Shedeur Sanders in his first year was an alternate Pro Bowler. And that's what sometimes gets lost in conversations because people forget what the situation, or you go back, you just see that Pro Bowl attached to the name. And that's where we're starting to see things change in the football world of when we're talking about Hall of Famers or we're talking about whatever and what they've done in their career. Pro Bowl is starting to mean less because it's just, there's no way that you're telling me in even 5 years, we're going to be like, oh, well, remember Shedeur Sanders' rookie season with his 7 touchdowns and 10 picks?
It's a fan vote. Part of it is a fan vote. That should not ever contribute to what you think about what a player did in a certain season.
All, I think the Pro Bowl should go back to Hawaii and bring it back to what it was. I mean, that was such a great reward for the players. You get to go to Hawaii. It's a family trip. You bring your family. It's going to be beautiful weather. You get to mess around for a week. You play a little game,
Play a little game.
I mean, it used to be more competitive than it, turned into. And
That's
then
why they had to change it.
The last couple of years was really not competitive at all.
I do not watch it. I do not get excited about it.
Not anymore, but I used to.
Sure, not anymore. I've moved more towards being interested in the NFL honors and the award presentations than I am the actual flag football game. But I like the skill contest that they have surrounding it. Yeah,
Brunel
like accuracy and all of that
MVP
stuff.
His first year at the Pro Bowl. He was MVP of I think at least the AFC, and we were like, all right. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Because back then the Pro Bowl really meant something.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they did away with it. It can't be cost. I mean, they're rolling in the money. Like, Like, how can you not take care of the best players of your league?
I know for this year they have both the NFL honors and all of the Pro Bowl stuff around the Super Bowl. So they want.
It seems where they want to move that.
Yeah.
I think that. Yeah, I think they want it like a whole week long event now. Of here's the honors, here's the Pro Bowl, here's the Super Bowl, here's everything in one place. Everybody travels to one spot, spend a ton of money in one place, and it's all going to the NFL. I don't know. I wonder how many people could just go to Hawaii to watch the Pro Bowl.
Probably not a lot. You're probably right there. The locals probably didn't fill it up enough.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, do you really need one more? How much more do you need? I don't know.
It's a little greedy, but I will say another interesting thing. Did you guys see this? Where it was like the last 3 times a new pope was elected, the Seahawks have made the Super Bowl as the number 1 seed.
I did not.
Wow. In 2005, Pope Benedict was elected. Seattle to the Super Bowl was that year. 2013, Pope Francis, and then obviously Pope 25 with Pope Leo.
Wow.
Who I thought was a Chicago fan, but he's a traitor, I guess.
Is he now a Seahawks fan?
I guess so.
What they started 4.5 a favorite, 3.5.
Yeah, I think it's up to 5.5 now.
Is it 5.5?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm guessing that might
4.
continue to climb a little bit.
Yeah, but again, that part doesn't really indicate who Vegas thinks is going to win. It's just trying to get people to bet on it.
Put some money
but yeah, a couple notes I saw when it comes to yesterday's games. Drake May completed 10 of 21 passes for 86 yards, becoming just the second quarterback since 1990 to win a conference championship while throwing for under 100 yards. The other one, Jimmy Garoppolo in 2019.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
That's what I saw offensively. I think it was just playoffs, but offensively in the Super Bowl era, this was the worst. I mentioned that DVOA number for an offense in any Super Bowl history for like just the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, their defense has done some pretty good things.
I tell you, one of the biggest stats with the QB, Stafford was 0 of 7, 0 for 7 on 3rd and 4th down throws yesterday. Didn't complete one.
I think that's a testament to the Seahawks defense, though. You know, they were disciplined, and that's one thing I felt like at times the Rams players weren't disciplined. I'll get to that in Pest of the Day. I was telling you guys this on a break that Josh McDaniels, that play where Drake May kept it, and it was the game-sealing play because they were able to just kneel the ball after that. Josh McDaniels called an outside zone run for Ramondre Stevenson on 3rd down with 1:57 left, and Drake May decided not to do that and to keep it himself. And he didn't tell
Almost
anyone.
Didn't get it.
Yeah,
very
it was
close.
very close as for sure. But that decision by him, that's ballsy.
Yeah,
no doubt. And taking it into your own hands with your legs, man. And he's shown that he can do some damage with those legs. He's shown it all throughout the playoffs.
Did you like that?
I can't see the jerseys; they're white, so I'm just gonna run.
Right,
yeah. Did y'all's TV have a hard time with that? They had the lines on the field, and
light them up
it looked like the players looked like they were holographs.
Yeah.
But I didn't love the fake that they did. Like Drake May, it almost like it was on purpose, but he made it look like he missed the ball and it went to the back.
It threw me off for a second until they replayed it. I was like, "What? Hold on, what just happened?" Because it almost looked like an actual mistake. Well, it looked like he almost fumbled it at 1 second.
Yeah, that was.
I thought it was a little too cutesy.
Yeah.
Like, especially again in
that type of weather.
Yeah, and then I feel like the Patriots. At this point in time, all the pressure is going to be on Seattle, right? Like the Patriots have been told how weak their schedule was, how easy their road was in the playoffs. Drake May's had lots of turnovers at this point in time too. But at some point, Mike Vrabel, I feel like, is going to be able to use all of that against Seattle.
Yeah. I wouldn't count New England out at all. I mean, I could see Seattle running it up and taking it away, but I don't know. I think that defense is going to show up a bit. Those guys up front are tough to handle, and they're 9-0 on the road. So that first team ever in NFL history go 9-0 on the road. The Patriots did, and first year with a team, 17 wins overall. Like, hey, listen, they should feel pretty confident, Hopefully, there shouldn't be any weather issues, I wouldn't think, in Santa Clara. Maybe a little chilly, depending on what's going on there. But no, if I'm New England, I feel pretty good. I feel good about my defense. There's still a little, just like I would the other side. If I'm Seattle, I'm coming after Drake, but I'd go after Sam all day long. I'd go after Sam. You got to be careful, like with any QB, but I would definitely try to get back to the old Sam. Can I get to the old Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Can I get to the crack? Can I get to him seeing maybe
ghosts.
things before they're really real? And the thing with May is, can I get to him and get him to fumble?
Well, and
Can I
you
get
also,
him to
I feel like,
turn the
need to
ball
keep
over?
a spy on Drake May.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he will take off, especially he's making up his own plays at this point and running.
He's outrunning the
Yeah.
linebackers. I mean, 53 looked like he had the angle. He
Yeah.
outran the angle, so he's no slowpoke, that's for sure.
No, he's athletic.
That's kind of the funny thing with this matchup too, because in a sense, not the team as a whole, because I think most people thought Seattle as a team was good and was one of the better teams of the year. But everyone kept being like, okay, well, it's Sam Darnold. It's gonna at some point he's gonna go back to and revert to Sam Darnold ways and make mistakes and look like what he looked like in the postseason last year. And then on the other side, we're having the same conversations with the Patriots in the sense of, okay, they haven't played anybody and he's making a lot of mistakes. And so you have kind of similar storylines when it comes to the quarterbacks on each side. And this game, I think, is going to come down to that, which one can play to the level, the higher level.
Yeah, and look, in New England's defense, I mean, look, I know Stidham wasn't there, but they still went against one of the top O lines, one of the top D lines, top defenses. They wasn't like they were
And
going
they played
against
the
nobody.
Texans as far as really good defense.
Yeah, they played some physical
Chargers before that.
games, so I
And
think
there's a
they're
lot
gonna
of
give a game.
turnovers. That's where it came in.
Yeah.
So can Seattle force that to happen too? Is going to be one. Well, either one, I
was
guess.
gonna say,
Who's
yeah.
going to be able to force those,
Yeah.
get those sacks and get the turnovers?
That game, I wish it wasn't 6:30 on a Sunday. I wish it was just a little bit earlier.
Yeah, no
or
doubt.
like
4.
Saturday, like we always say. But I know
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday is not changing. All right, one segment to go. I'll bring you today's Terminix Pest of the Day on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels. Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Class, and I think you deserve a spa-like shower, don't you? Get rid of that dirty, dated setup you have in your bathroom. Those old-style showers can be really ugly. Install a gorgeous frameless shower with thick, sexy glass and a free diamond coating protection that's easier to clean, like Rain-X for your shower. Your bathroom will feel like a luxury spa every morning and night. You deserve it. Visit my friends at leeandkatesglass.com.
You're gonna see a big difference.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and what better way than to celebrate the one you love other than with Peterbrook Chocolatier. I got my early gift basket last week thanks to Peterbrook and enjoyed my personal favorite, chocolate-covered popcorn. They also dropped off chocolate-dipped Oreos, pistachio-filled chocolates, and so much more. Pre-order now so you save yourself some time and hassle this February. Peterbrook Chocolatier is here for you. Peterbrook.com. That's Peterbrook.com.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Mike Dempsey here, and it's commercial truck season at Duval Ford. Right now, your business can drive off with serious savings. Thanks to Section 179 of the IRS tax code, you can immediately deduct the full purchase price of qualifying new or pre-owned work trucks and equipment this year, instead of depreciating it over time. Upgrade your fleet, lower your tax bill, and get to work fast. Visit DuvalFord.com to explore inventory or stop by 1616 Cassett Avenue today for big #1 Duval Ford.
Frank Frangie here. Bono's Pit Barbecue has been serving up legendary barbecue on the First Coast for over 75 years, and right now, Bono's has a smoking deal for you. For just $12.49, you'll get Bono's signature pulled pork sandwich, a side, and a drink. But hurry, Duval. This pig deal is for a limited time only. With 18 Bono's around town, there's always one near you. And if you want the best catering, call 904-332-RIBS. That's 904-332-7427 or online at bonosbarbecue.com. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Happy New Year, sports
fans, Hicken here, and let's keep the skincare talk going while we ring in the new year. You know it's winter, a little cold outside, that sun is still shining, so let's always be reminded to take care of our skin. Beaches Dermatology now has a new location open in Fernandina. So if you live just a little north of Duval, you can now see the pros at Beaches Dermatology without having to make the drive to Jax. Go online to beachesdermatology.com to book your skincare appointment today. That's beachesdermatology.com.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the adorable chess man on the tracks.
There are two things you should ask yourself about your garage floor. How clean is it now, and how clean would you like it to be? A typical bare concrete floor doesn't just collect dirt, it makes dirt.
It is literally made of dirt.
As much as you sweep and mop, the dust and grit just never ends.
And drips from your car seep into the pores, staining the concrete forever.
A Checkmate multi-layer floor resists drips and stains. It comes in your choice of dozens of colors and sweeps up sparkling clean in just seconds.
No need to wear shoes in the garage and track dirt back in the house.
Gorgeous?
Check. Durable?
Check. Tidy enough to walk on wearing clean white socks? Checkmate.
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Start the fresh new you with Local Fair Jacks, the online farmers market delivering fresh local food to your door. Start for just $7 with code FRESH1010 at localfairjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Time now for today's Terminix Pests of the Day, is always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online, Terminix.com. It's TERMINIX.com. They do a fantastic job of making sure we have no pest issues at my house, just like they do at Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, all of your favorite event venues around town. If you have any sort of pest control issues, make sure you contact Terminix. All right, so the pest of the day, I think this one's a fairly easy one. It's not Sean Payton, but it is Tariq Woolen. Tariq Woolen now has 3 taunting penalties on the season. He almost cost the Seahawks yesterday in the game against the Rams, but the Seahawks ended up winning regardless. But I did love that his own teammate, Nick Imanwari, was screaming at him after he was taunting that Rams sideline. So I looked it up to see, since I was curious, how many taunting penalties do you think the next player in the NFL has? So he has 3. How many do you think the next player has?
2.
Good guess. 1.
Yeah.
Every other player
Didn't do it again.
didn't do it again because their coach, I'm guessing, or special
Ripped
teams
into
coordinator,
him.
whoever it was,
Yeah.
got on their rear end. And so this is the only one in the NFL to have done it now 3
Wow.
times. And look, he ended up getting burnt on the very next play, and the
Yeah.
Rams scored the
Yeah, right,
touchdown. So
right.
I was
This
honestly
is-
surprised he was still out
He
there.
has 3 this year.
Yes,
Okay.
3 this
Because
season.
I thought I saw a stat where there's only 5 in the whole NFL, I think.
I saw, at least when I looked it up today, it looked like maybe about 15 players had gotten at least 1 taunting penalty, maybe even more.
Because
Than
I saw a stat earlier. Maybe it was a little more specific on what it was, but it was like total of something or since a certain day, maybe is what it was. And he had 3, and the NFL had like 7 or something like that, maybe.
But like,
yeah.
just act like you've been there before. And so he has that 1 pass breakup, but then it's 4th and 12, and his taunting penalty gives the
That's
Rams the ability
awful.
to then get that touchdown right back to Puka Nacua against you. So that to me, is just something. If I was his teammate and we had lost that game,
Oh,
yeah.
If it came down
would
to
have
that,
been-
Right.
oh, yeah.
I would have been livid.
Well, and he's a multiple offender. I'm surprised. McDonald seems like he runs a tight ship. I'm surprised he allowed it happened to 3 times. That's
Right. And he post game, he didn't really say like, I'm going to get after him or get onto him or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's an emotional game. Like,
Listen,
that's why it happened again.
right. And you know that they're looking for it. That they're looking for the taunting.
Well, it's so obvious you're going like
No, I know.
directly in front of Sean McVay, you dummy,
But
and
you
Stafford.
can't really do anything these days. It feels like with the taunting. You know what I mean? You got to be. They're looking for to throw the flag. On.
See, I feel like we've seen corners get up and flex, or receiver even the opposite way, get up and flex. We saw that yesterday. None of that was called. It's more, I think.
Can't
if
yell
you
at the
were-
play. Can't be directed towards like
Correct.
I'm all right, kick your ass. You know, I guess that kind of deliberate,
right.
taunt.
Because if you're going to be a dumbass, then they're going to throw the flag. For
you know it's coming. Is my point. Like you should know by now that you can't do it.
Correct.
And so the Seahawks, I guess, have the most in the the NFL, which 3 are from him, but they have 5 is what I saw. So
Swag
they have a little
on.
issue there because 2 other people have gotten taunting, and then he has 3.
Yeah. I would make him run gassers or whatever.
Good luck.
What I can't.
Fine him.
I can't.
Fine him.
And what's
The full
that's
extent.
obviously not doing enough.
That's also when
Then
other
bench him.
Yeah. The other players start to figure that out. And there's certain guys like Jalen Ramsey would do this. He knew what players got in their heads. And that's when he'd run his mouth a little bit. And then other player gets in trouble. CJ Gardner-Johnson's one of the guys that can get in guys' heads like that. And Aqib Talib was one of the guys that could get in guys' heads like that. There's certain players that once they know you're that type of player that's going to react or taunt or do whatever, they'll mess with you the entire game to get you to make that mistake.
100%. All right, a couple basketball notes before we turn it over to the Frangie Show. North Florida beat Bellarmine in overtime 117 to 114 on Saturday. Cameron Oriole led the team with 33 points and 15 assists. He's the only player in the country to have that many points and that many assists in one game. This Thursday, UNF plays host to Stetson at 7 p.m. The Frangie Show will be broadcasting live on Thursday from UNF Arena. JU also won in overtime on Saturday, 81 to 76.
All right.
Yes, over Eastern Kentucky. The Dolphins' leading scorer was Chris Lockett. He had 25 points. JU plays host to Lipscomb this Thursday at 7 o'clock. And if you can't make it out to Swisher Gymnasium, you can hear that one right here on 1010 AM and the AM stream. Let's turn it over to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hey, is it every time it looks like the Jaguars are getting closer and closer to keeping Udinski and Campanile, it feels like something more comes about.
What just happened? Did something just happen?
No, nothing just happening.
Okay.
But earlier today, all right, Grant's not going to the Browns.
Right.
Great news, but still in it with the Bills.
I can't imagine the Bills hire him. They
No?
just fired a 98-50 coach. You're going to sell to your fan base that you're hiring a 30-year-old head coach that wasn't even a play caller in Jacksonville? Like, to me, I'd be stunned if he gets the Bills job. And that has nothing to do with Grant.
Yeah, right.
But I just would be shocked if you fired Sean McDermott because you view yourself as being one piece away from the Super Bowl. I just would be shocked if you then hired somebody that would be as unknown to your fan base as Grant Udinski. So hopefully it plays out that way. And did something happen with Campanile?
More just that he is the only guy that has gotten the second interview with the Cardinals so far.
Okay. Yeah, I will say I was worried they were going to lose them both, but to me it's trending like it's going to be good news for the Jaguars. So because I don't think he'll get the Arizona job, but anyway, we'll see until they have hires.
Correct.
We'll have to sweat it out. So we'll certainly talk about that coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll get into the Gators losing at home to Auburn and our thoughts on that. And a bunch of other stuff.
Make your free throws. Those are my thoughts.
Make your
by the
free
way.
throws. Maybe actually come to the gym ready to play a basketball game and not sleepwalk for the first 20 minutes. But credit to Auburn. You know, Auburn's a good team. I mean, they'd probably be a 6-7 seed in the tournament if it started today. So it's not like it's a dreadfully bad loss. But it was a surprise. I really thought they were already hot, and I thought Florida had a chance to really have this massive win streak. Shocked that they lost at home, but, you just regroup and move on to, I guess it's at
South
Tuesday
Carolina,
or Wednesday?
Wednesday night at 9
9
p.m.
o'clock, yeah, which means it's not going to start until like 9:20.
By the way, none of the basketball games, unless they're the first ones, have started on time this season.
It's been like that for years.
I know.
I don't know why ESPN can't figure out basic math. A college basketball game cannot exist in 2 hours.
Correct. It's always two and a half hours.
And so it starts on a different channel, and then it's like, when do I move it over? It's maddening. But anyway, all coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. I did not tell you all that Florida did beat Auburn in gymnastics on Friday night. However, one of the Florida gymnasts suffered a pretty gruesome injury on the vault. Yeah, Lee Boy. So thoughts and prayers with her. She was crying, had to be carried off the floor there after vault. But at least Florida did win, and so now tied for third in the country. Was number one, but now tied for third. All right, that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow. But don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show comes at you next, right here, 10 to next on 92.5 FM.
All over you.